It's Wednesdays with Wade. San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips joins the Blitz every Wednesday for an inside look at your San Antonio Brahmas. Now, here's the Blitz with Wade Phillips.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jay Simonix on this Wednesday afternoon. Glad to have you along. Tomorrow, the Blitz will be live at Taste of the North Side, a great Fiesta event, my favorite Fiesta event. We have tickets that we are giving away before 6 o'clock, so your chance to win those are coming up. And you think about Fiesta, and you think about Fiesta medals. This Saturday night in the Alamo Dome, when the San Antonio Brahmas take on the Michigan Panthers, they have the Brahmas Fiesta medal. It's the first ever San Antonio Brahmas UFL Fiesta medal. And they have some ticket packages if you go to the Brahmas social channels with links to where you could get the medal with your tickets. So go find on the Brahmas social channels the links, and you can get your Fiesta medal with the tickets there. I'm not sure if Coach Wade Phillips knows a lot about Fiesta or
it looks like
Fiesta
does.
medals, but he might. Wade Phillips joining us now on the Blitz Wednesdays with Wade, as Wade Phillips is on the Buyers Barricades guest line, and you've got the sash on. You already have a bunch of medals. Do you have, Coach, the Brahmas Fiesta medal yet?
I have it.
There it is.
Wow.
I'm giving them away this week. Come see us play. Get a medal.
Get a medal. Now, did you know what a Fiesta medal was before they put that over your shoulder today?
I didn't know much about. I knew about Fiesta. I knew everybody had a good time on Fiesta. I didn't know about all the medals.
Well, you look good there, Coach, with the sash and all the medals on. You look like King Ray Feo himself.
Hey, I'm all for it.
All for it. If you want to see Coach Wade Phillips with a medal sash on, head over to our YouTube page right now, the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can also see the medal, and we'll have this on the socials later if you're driving and you can't get to YouTube. Now, the other thing, Fiesta, Coach, and I wish you guys were in town. You can go to all these different events and get chicken on a stick, and, you stack your beer cups and all that kind of stuff. But the other big thing is it's called cascarones, where you get confetti eggs smashed on your head. Have you ever had that before?
I haven't had that one. I'm not really looking forward to that one.
Well, it's not bad.
I'll be a good sport.
Yeah,
I'm a good sport.
If you do it right, it doesn't hurt. But like 3 weeks later, you take a shower and you find confetti, and you wonder where that confetti's been hiding, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean,
Yeah.
Leave the hat on, Coach. You'll be just fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk a little football, Coach, because unfortunately, Brahmas got their first defeat this past week. What did you see in that game that concerned you this week and that you guys have been working on?
Well, of course, our quarterback got hurt and out for the season. So,
well, that hurts.
At a key time in the game, and he kept playing, which he really shouldn't have. I know he's trying to be heroic, but the last part of the game where we had a chance to come back and at least tie or win the game, he really couldn't function. But he told us, and we fell for it, that he was okay. And but that was unfortunate. He's had a great year. He was leading the league in touchdown passes and so forth. So, but we got Quentin Dormady coming in, who really it was really nip and tuck as to who was going to be the starter anyway. So we have a lot of confidence in Quentin. He's got a big arm, and I think a lot of people in San Antonio probably know about him.
Yeah, we actually had Quentin on the show yesterday, Coach, and of course he played his high school ball here in the area over at Bernie High School. Although I was a little disappointed, he said he didn't remember much about Fiesta medals, which you gotta coach him up. But one thing that I know, watching Quentin in high school, and he's had an incredible journey with just dealing with injuries, dealing with adversities, looking for his time, but he does have that big arm. And I was at the game on Sunday, and so many short passes behind the line of scrimmage. I expect what I know of Dormady to try to get the ball downfield a little bit more. Are you able to open up the offense more with Quentin at quarterback?
Well, I don't know about opening it up more, but yeah, different throw. He makes different throws than than our previous quarterback. So he's got a great D-ball touch. So I don't want to give away any secrets, but they better stay back because he can throw the deep ball really well.
Absolutely. Well, that's good advice for them, although we don't want to give them any advice. Do things really change a lot, Coach? I mean, obviously Quentin's going to get the time with the first team, obviously in practice this week. But do things really change all that much with him under center?
Well, no, I mean, we went through the whole training camp, alternating first team quarterback. So he was on the first team half the time during training camp. He's been second team for 3 games, and that's it. So he's starting his chances for the first team quarterback. So yeah, he's had a lot of work with the first team. He's had a lot of work with the receivers. And the offense. He's been in his offense, and so he has a good feel for it. But like I said, he'll throw to different receivers than Garbers would in certain situations.
And I know Quinn, he's going to go deep. He wants to look to put that ball going downfield. Now he becomes the starter. I see today that you guys added Kevin Hogan, who obviously has a lot of NFL experience. You still have Tom Flacco on the roster. So is Hogan coming in to be the third quarterback or to compete with Flacco to be the backup?
Well, he's competing. Yeah, he's competing right now. He's got to kind of hurry up, and although he's a really sharp guy from Stanford, but he's got to learn the offense. So Flacco has a little, is ahead of him on that, but I think he'll learn it pretty quickly, and we'll just see what happens.
Well, when you look at bringing a guy like that in, I mean, is it just 24/7 for this guy, at least for the next couple of days? Reading the playbook, getting it down, going over the motions, and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's the terminology first. Like I say, he played at Stanford, and he's a real sharp guy. There's some stories about him there as far as how hard he worked as far as preparing to play. So I think he'll pick up things pretty quickly.
Well, and he's got the NFL experience. And the good, I think, of having the 2 spring leagues come together to create the UFL is there's more jobs available, but it does feel like you've got a lot of guys with NFL experience still trying to chase football now, whereas before, if you were dealing with something like this and there were 2 leagues like last year, you'd be looking for a quarterback that maybe really didn't or shouldn't have been in that position to be on a team, right?
You're right. There were 16 teams last year, now there are 8. So it's better players, certainly. I mean, it's a higher quality play, I think. You could see it through the first several weeks. I think the games are close because both teams have quality players.
Coach, you're going into obviously game number 4. You feeling pretty comfortable? I know you said you were, and that but you feeling comfortable with the direction your team is going in. You're 2-1. Obviously, the record is good, but how are you feeling about your team overall?
I feel good. I mean, again, it's a new team as far as new personnel, and like I said before, melding the team together. And then when you try to do that and you lose 4 starters in 3 weeks, the injuries bother me. But we've got some guys I think can step up, but a lot of them are new guys. So we'll see how that works out. But we've just had a lot of injuries. That any team I've been with hadn't had this many starter injuries in the first few games. So, but I feel like we have people that can, like Quentin, that can come in and not only fill in for us, but play well.
Wade Phillips joining us here on the Blitz, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. They play Saturday night, 6:00 in the Alamo Dome against the Michigan Panthers. And Coach, like I said, I was at the game on Sunday, and there was a moment. I'm curious how you decide if after a touchdown, if you're going for 1, 2, or 3, because there was at one point where I think a three would have given you a 21-20 lead. You went for 2, but you were struggling on making the 2s. How do you decide what you're going for on the conversion? We all know the traditional scoring point chart of when you go for 2 and not. How difficult is it now when you've got so many options?
Well, it depends on the team you're playing too. Depends on what you can do well and the team you're playing. We decide all those games. I mean, all those point differential thing before we play the game. It's not all of a sudden in the game and say, oh yeah, we need to go for two in this situation. We've already talked about all those things. We've made our decision beforehand. There's a lot of different ones certainly that can come up. Just like at the end of the game when, the guy comes over and why a guy on TV would come over and say, hey, well, how come you kicked off? We had 3 timeouts left and rather than go for it on fourth and 12 and only have one play to win or lose the game, we got the ball back with 1:46 and several plays left, and about the same spot we would have had if we wouldn't have made the 4th and 12. So sometimes, TV people don't always know.
Now, again, I was at the game, so I missed that. So are you a fan of getting interviewed in the middle of the game? I mean, it's one thing for guys to play armchair quarterback on Wednesday on the radio, but you're in the middle of battle and the guy's questioning you.
It wasn't an interview. It's, well, why did you do that? Why did you?
He scolded you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, well, why would you do that? Why didn't you go for it on 4th and 12? And at the time, I said, hey, we have 3 timeouts, and our defense stopped them right there. We only used 1 timeout, so we had 2 timeouts left when we got the ball, and we had 1:46 left, rather than them have the ball. If we didn't make it, them have the ball on our 35-yard line.
Well, you know how it is, Wade.
Game's over.
You know how it is, Wade. Guys in the media like me and Jason, we know everything, and we're always right. Well, you know how it is.
I started to call you guys up when they asked me the question, but I didn't have my phone. They won't let you have a phone on the field.
I mean, look, I was in the stands. I mean, I saw you stand over by yourself. Could have just waved me down. No, it's funny though, because actually I agreed with the kickoff. The people I was sitting with questioned that, and I was like, he's got timeouts. Defense got to stop, and there you go. It's like at the beginning of the second half. What was it? First play of the second half, defense gets a fumble, and you guys are right back in it.
Right. Yeah, well, it's there's a lot of decisions to be made, but most of those we already have talked about, as far as the points and when to go for it and basically now when to use the timeouts is important. And we called a timeout, and we also had we called a timeout with 1 second left before the 2-minute warning. That way we got a timeout in and the 2-minute warning. And then they threw it on 3rd down with incomplete, so we had 2 timeouts left. So those things, some of that's experience, from coaching, but some of it's we've already talked about whether to go for 2 or 1 against certain teams and certain situations.
Wade, and I've got to ask you say you talk about this stuff beforehand. Are you still a gut reaction kind of guy? I mean, if there's a situation that's happening on the field and you really feel it in your gut, even though you've talked about maybe doing something else, you don't do that?
No, I don't do that. I don't normally do that. We have, just like on 4th down, there's certain areas that we'll go for it on 4th down, certain distances against different teams, and we've discussed all that, and we've decided that's the best, and I stay with what we decide. Like teams going for 2 sometimes in the old days, and to win the game, but you have 47% chance of making it. So you're having your team have a less than 50% chance of winning, and you say, hey, let's go out and win it because I've got a gut feeling. I just don't believe in that.
The great Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, joining us here on the Blitz as he does every Wednesday. We call it Wednesdays with Wade. You got Michigan coming in. A little film study on Michigan. What do we expect to see out of those guys on Saturday, 6 o'clock in the Alamo Dome?
Well, I know Mike Nolan really well. We worked together with the Denver Broncos when I first went to the Broncos. We went to the Super Bowl together. We're good friends until the game starts. But he's going to be good on defense. They've got a good defense. They're similar to us, not scheme wise, but similar to us. I think they're 3rd in defense, and we're 2nd in defense right now in the league. So pretty similar there. And their quarterback had a big game last game. He's had 4 rushing touchdowns. So, we got to be really more aware and put a spy maybe on their quarterback because he runs with the ball a lot. So we're expecting him to try to run the football. They'll throw it, but he's going to run with the football and try to make plays there. So our focus on defense, make sure he doesn't.
Well, a good defensive coach like that, does that add any pressure to a Quentin Normandy when it comes to like that, or coming in? He's
going to have
sure.
He's going to have a good scheme. Yeah, he's going to have a good scheme against you, but we feel like we have a good offensive scheme. So, and Quentin, like I said, he's been working against our defense the whole training camp, and so our defense is pretty good and has given him, a lot of looks, and so he's seen a lot of the looks he's going to see in the ball game against Michigan.
As the defensive genius that you are, knowing that Michigan has a kicker who's made a couple that are 60 plus and made it look easy for that matter, basically if they're near midfield, they're in field goal range. Does that change anything the way you scheme defensively, trying to stop them, knowing that if they get close to midfield, they're within scoring range?
Yeah, when he gets out there, I usually sneeze, miss it. And so, you can't do anything about his distance. But the name of the game there is field position. So you have to be very aware with them field position wise. Try to keep them backed up, obviously, but they can score points from way out because this guy kicks it so far. So that's always part of what we plan for during a ball game is, trying to. When we punt, we're trying to get them back in a certain area. Our kickoff coverage has got to keep them back far enough that field position where they can't get in those areas. Now, if he misses a long one, now you're talking about giving the other team field position to score. If he misses one of those long field goals, you're almost giving up a 65-yard field goal. You're giving up at least a field goal if you miss it. So it's they don't make all of those. Hopefully, they won't make all of those, but it's still a change of field position if they do miss. So that's always in the back. That's always a consideration, even though you have a kicker that can kick it that far.
Well, Wade, I got to tell you, I don't know what the dress code is on the sidelines of a football game, but the look you have right now is you. I mean, you look great.
All right. Somebody told me that white didn't work. I had too much white in my hair and
are you going to wear the sash during the game Saturday night?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll let me or not.
Hey, you're Wade Phillips. You can do what you want.
Exactly.
You put a bunch.
I might go with the yellow though. I think that's a good idea.
I like the yellow.
Yeah, just put a bunch of medals in your pocket when you're walking up and down during a timeout. Throw them in the crowd. Do some things like that. There you go.
Yeah,
you can get your Brahmas Fiesta medal with your tickets for the game.
Right.
Just go to the San Antonio Brahmas social channels. You can click the links to get the offer with the tickets and the medal, and they'll have them at the game for sale Saturday night in the Alamo Dome. 6 o'clock. Coach Wade Phillips, get back on the winning track this week. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
You bet. Viva Fiesta.
There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Wade Phillips, the head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
I just love that guy.
I do.
He's fantastic.
He's a coach
man.
that's just going to do what you want me to do. What? Wear this during the interview?
Why not?
Yeah. All right. Whatever.